The metal ship floated in the black space above the blue planet. It was bigger than a mountain, but made no sound. Inside the ship, tall gray beings with 4 arms watched the world below through screens that showed everything. Commander Vextal stood in the center of the room. His skin was smooth like stone, and his eyes were large and black. He had been watching the humans for many days now. The other beings in his crew called them the soft ones because they looked weak and small. "Show me the data again," Vextal said to the science officer next to him. The science officer pressed buttons on a panel. Numbers and pictures filled the screens around them. The pictures showed humans doing strange things. Very strange things. That made no sense to the aliens. "They are not logical," the science officer said. His name was Kithran, and he had been studying different species for many years. "Look at this behavior. They approach their planet's killing creatures. They do not run. They do not fight. They feed them." Vextal watched the screen. It showed a human male walking toward a huge brown bear. The bear was caught in a metal trap. Its leg was bleeding, and it was making loud, angry sounds. Any smart creature would run away from such a dangerous beast, but the human did not run. "Zoom in on the human," Vextal ordered. The picture got closer. Now they could see the human's face clearly. He had brown hair and wore thick clothes. His name was Jake Mitchell, but the aliens did not know this. They only knew he was doing something that seemed impossible. Jake moved slowly toward the angry bear. The bear was as big as 3 humans put together. Its teeth were long and sharp. Its claws could cut through metal. This was one of the most dangerous hunters on the planet. "He will die now," said another alien officer. "The creature will kill him." But Jake did not look afraid. He reached into a bag he carried and took out something small. He put it in a long stick and pointed it at the bear. There was a small sound, and something hit the bear's neck. The bear roared louder and tried to reach Jake, but after a few moments it became slower. Its eyes started to close. Soon it fell asleep. "Interesting," Kithran said while making notes. "He used some kind of sleeping poison. But why did he not just leave the creature to die?" The aliens watched as Jake came closer to the sleeping bear. He looked at the trap around its leg. The metal had cut deep into the bear's skin. Blood was everywhere. The smell must have been terrible. Jake opened his bag again. He took out clean white cloths and bottles of liquid. He began to clean the bear's wound. The bear did not move because of the sleeping poison, but it was still breathing. "This makes no sense," Maxtall said. "Why would he help a creature that wanted to kill him?" For the next hour, they watched Jake work on the bear's leg. He cleaned away all the blood. He put medicine on the cuts. He wrapped the leg in white bandages. Then he did something even more strange. Jake took food from his bag. Good food that smelled of meat and fish. He put it near the bear's nose. Then he brought a container of clean water and left it where the bear could reach it when it woke up. "He is giving it resources," Kithran said in a confused voice. "He is making the killing creature stronger. Perhaps their brains work differently than ours," suggested another officer. "Maybe they cannot understand danger." Extal nodded slowly. This seemed like the only explanation. The humans were too soft, too kind. They could not tell the difference between friend and enemy. This was why they would be easy to defeat. The aliens had been looking for new worlds to take over. Their own planet was getting too crowded, and they needed more space. They had hoped to find worlds with weak species that would not fight back. This blue planet seemed perfect. Jake finished working on the bear and stepped back. He sat on a rock nearby and waited. After another hour, the bear began to wake up. It opened its eyes and looked around. When it saw Jake, it made low growling sounds, but it did not attack. Instead, the bear smelled the food Jake had left. It was hungry from being trapped for days. Slowly and carefully, it began to eat. It drank the water. All the time it kept looking at Jake, but it did not try to hurt him. Fascinating, Kithrin whispered. The creature accepts his help because it knows he is not a threat, Vextal replied. He showed weakness by helping it. Now it does not fear him. When the bear finished eating, it stood up. The bandages were still on its leg. It looked at Jake one more time, then walked away into the forest. It was limping, but it was alive. Jake packed his supplies and walked back to his vehicle. He drove away down a dirt road. Record everything, Vextal told his crew. This behavior pattern must be studied. If all humans act this way with dangerous creatures, then they will act the same way with us. Over the next few days, the aliens watched more humans. They saw similar behavior again and again. Humans helping injured predators instead of killing them or running away. They saw Lisa Rodriguez feeding a wounded shark in the ocean. They saw Danny Walsh caring for an injured alligator in a swamp. They saw Amy Chun rescuing hurt wolves in the snow. It is the same everywhere, Kithran reported. To Vextal, they show this strange kindness to their planet's most dangerous hunters. They seem to believe that helping their enemies will make them safe. Then they are fools, Vextal said, and fools cannot defend their world. He sent a message to the main fleet waiting in the dark space between stars. The message was simple. The humans were weak. They were soft. They would not fight properly because they did not understand what fighting meant. The invasion could begin soon. But as Vextal watched Jake Mitchell drive away from the sleeping bear, he missed something important. He did not see the small tracking device Jake had placed on the bear's ear while treating its wounds. He did not notice how Jake had studied every part of the bear's body while helping it. He did not understand that. Jake now knew exactly how fast the bear could move, how strong it was, and where its weak points were located. The aliens thought they were watching compassion. They had no idea they were watching something much more dangerous. 3 weeks passed since the aliens first watched Jake Mitchell help the wounded bear. Commander Vextal wanted to be sure about what he had seen. One strange human was not enough proof that all humans were weak. He ordered his crew to watch. More humans in different places. The gray ship moved silently around the blue planet. Its sensors could see through clouds and darkness. The aliens could watch humans anywhere they wanted without being seen. "Show me the ocean area," Vextal said to the officer controlling the viewing screens. The screen changed to show blue water stretching far in all directions. A small white boat floated on the waves. Inside the boat was a human female with dark hair tied back. Her name was Lisa Rodriguez, but the aliens only knew her as Subject 2. Lisa wore a black suit that covered her whole body. She had metal tanks on her back and a clear mask over her face. The aliens watched as she jumped into the water and disappeared under the waves. "Why did she go into the water?" asked Kithran. "The ocean contains many dangerous creatures." "Perhaps she is hunting for food," suggested another officer. But they were wrong. Lisa was not hunting. She was swimming toward something much more dangerous than any hunter. The alien sensors showed a large shape moving through the deep water. It was 15 feet long with rows of sharp teeth. A great white shark. The shark was not moving normally. One of its fins was torn and bleeding. Pieces of metal were stuck in its side. It had been hurt by a boat's engine and was swimming slowly in pain. Lisa saw the injured shark and swam straight toward it. "She will be eaten," Kithran said with excitement. "Finally, we will see normal predator behavior." But as they watched, Lisa got closer and closer to the massive shark. The creature could bite her in half with one snap of its jaws. It could smell her blood from far away. It should have attacked immediately. Instead, the shark let Lisa swim right up to it. Lisa took tools from her belt. The aliens watched in confusion as she began pulling pieces of metal from the shark's side. Blood clouded the water around them. The shark was big enough to swallow Lisa whole, but it stayed perfectly still while she worked. "This cannot be real," whispered one of the alien officers. "The creature should kill her." Lisa finished removing the metal pieces. Then she took out a device that made bright light. She used it to look closely at the shark's wounds. She touched the cuts gently with her hands. The shark did not move away. From her belt, Lisa took out containers of medicine. She squeezed the contents into the shark's wounds. The bleeding stopped. Then she did something that made all the aliens stare in shock. Lisa opened a bag attached to her suit. Inside were chunks of fresh fish. She held the food out to the giant shark. The shark opened its huge mouth and took the fish gently from her hands. Its teeth were inches from her fingers, but it was careful not to hurt her. "She is feeding it," Kithron said in a voice full of disbelief, "just like the first human fed the bear." Lisa gave the shark more fish. The creature ate everything she offered. When the food was gone, Lisa patted the shark's head like it was a pet. Then she swam back to her boat. The shark watched her go, but did not follow. It swam away into the deep ocean, looking much healthier than before. "Show me another location," Vextel ordered. He needed to see if this strange behavior happened everywhere. The screen changed to show a hot, swampy area. Green water stretched between tall trees. A human male in a brown uniform was walking along the water's edge. His name was Danny Walsh, but the aliens called him Subject 3. Danny stopped walking when he saw something in the water. It was a large alligator floating near the shore. The creature was 12 feet long, with powerful jaws and a thick armored body. But like the other predators they had watched, this one was injured. The alligator had deep cuts on its back and legs. It was breathing slowly, and its eyes were half closed. It looked very sick. Danny looked around carefully, then waded into the murky water. The alligator was one of the most dangerous predators in this area. It could grab Danny and drag him underwater to drown him. Its bite was strong enough to crush bones, but Danny walked right up to the injured creature. "Another one," Kithran said while taking notes. "The pattern is the same." Danny reached into a bag he carried. He pulled out bottles and cloths just like Jake Mitchell had used with the bear. He began cleaning the alligator's wounds. The big reptile stayed still and let him work. The cuts were deep and infected. Danny worked for a long time cleaning away the bad flesh and putting medicine on the wounds. The alligator never tried to bite him. It seemed to understand that Danny was helping. When Danny finished treating the wounds, he took meat from his bag, raw fish and chicken that smelled fresh and good. He placed the food near the alligator's mouth. The creature ate slowly, but it ate everything Danny gave it. Danny also brought a container of clean, fresh water. He poured it near the alligator's head so it could drink. In the wild, alligators usually got water from the swamp, but this water was cleaner and better. After the alligator finished eating and drinking, Danny stepped back. He watched as the large predator slid deeper into the water and swam away. It moved much better than when he had first found it. 3 different humans, Vextel said. 3 different dangerous predators, all the same behavior. The aliens spent the next week watching more humans. They found Amy Chun in the cold northern mountains, helping injured wolves. They saw Tim Bradley in the desert, caring for a hurt mountain lion. They watched Carol Thompson feeding medicine to a sick eagle that could tear out her eyes with its claws. Every time the pattern was the same. Humans found dangerous predators that were hurt or sick. Instead of running away or killing the creatures, they helped them. They cleaned wounds, gave medicine, provided food and water, then let the predators go free. I have never seen anything like this, Kithron told Vextal. No intelligent species helps their natural enemies. It goes against all survival instincts. That is why they will be easy to conquer, Vextal replied. They are too soft to recognize real threats. When we arrive, they will probably try to help us too. The alien commander sent another message to the main fleet. His report was clear. Humans consistently showed weakness toward dangerous creatures. They seemed unable to understand that predators were meant to be feared and destroyed, not helped and fed. The invasion fleet began moving toward the blue planet. Ships carrying thousands of alien warriors started their journey through space. They expected an easy victory over creatures too, foolish to fight their own predators properly. But Vextal had missed important details in his observations. He did not notice how carefully each human studied the predators while helping them. He did not see Lisa Rodriguez taking tissue samples from the shark. He did not observe Danny Walsh measuring the alligator's bite strength and reaction time while treating its wounds. The aliens thought they were watching simple kindness. They had no idea they were watching the most dangerous predators in the galaxy studying their competition. Commander Vextal felt confident about his findings. The humans were weak creatures who helped their enemies instead of destroying them. But before the invasion could begin, he needed to study one more thing. He needed to understand how humans fought wars. The alien ship moved to watch human military training areas. Vextal wanted to see their weapons and fighting methods. If humans were too soft to kill dangerous animals, maybe they were too soft to fight wars properly too. Show me their military facilities, Vextal ordered his crew. The viewing screens changed to show a large flat area of land. Human soldiers in green uniforms were running and training with weapons. The aliens watched groups of humans practice shooting and fighting. Their weapons seemed simple compared to alien technology. Their projectile weapons are primitive, Kithran observed. They fire small metal pieces at slow speeds. Our armor will stop them easily, Vextal nodded. The human weapons did look weak, but he wanted to see more. He ordered the ship to watch different military bases around the planet. For days, the aliens observed human soldiers training. They saw tank battles, explosive demonstrations, and flying machine exercises. Everything looked basic and limited compared to what the alien military could do. They are no threat, Vextal concluded. Their technology is centuries behind ours. But there was one human the aliens kept watching who confused them. His name was Tony Martinez, and he had been a soldier before. Now he worked as an animal doctor in a place with many dangerous creatures. The aliens watched Tony enter a large cage that held an injured mountain lion. The big cat was golden brown with muscles that could tear a human apart. Its claws were like knives, and its teeth could crush bones. It was pacing back and forth, looking angry and scared. Another predator helper, Kithran said. He will do the same foolish things as the others. But Tony did not act exactly like Jake or Lisa or Danny. He moved differently. Every step he took was careful and planned. His eyes never stopped watching the mountain lion. He held his body in a way that looked relaxed, but was ready to move quickly. Tony spoke to the mountain lion in a quiet voice. The big cat stopped pacing and looked at him. Tony kept talking while slowly reaching into his medical bag. The mountain lion's ears moved forward as it listened to his voice. He shows the same weakness, one alien officer said. He talks to the creature like it can understand him. Tony pulled out a device that made the mountain lion sleep. But instead of shooting it from far away, like Jake had done with the bear, Tony moved closer, much closer. He was only 3 feet from the dangerous cat when he used the sleeping medicine. The mountain lion fell asleep, and Tony began his work. He cleaned wounds on the cat's side and back. But the aliens noticed something strange. While Tony worked, his hands touched every part of the mountain lion's body. He felt its muscles, its bones, the shape of its skull. "What is he doing?" Kithran asked. "Probably checking for more injuries," Vextal replied. But Tony was doing more than checking for injuries. His hands measured the mountain lion's leg strength. He looked closely at its claws and teeth. He even opened the cat's mouth to examine its bite. Tony finished his medical work. He did something the other humans had not done. He set up a small device near the sleeping mountain lion. The device had a red light that blinked slowly. "Recording equipment," one of the alien officers noticed. "He is making records of the creature." Tony waited for the mountain lion to wake up. When it opened its eyes, Tony was sitting nearby with food in his hands. Fresh meat that smelled good. The mountain lion looked confused, but Hungry Tony threw a piece of meat to the cat. The mountain lion caught it and ate quickly. Tony threw another piece, but this time he threw it to a different spot. The cat had to move fast to catch it. Tony watched how quickly the animal could change direction. This continued for several minutes. Tony threw meat to different places and watched how the mountain lion moved. He was studying the cat's speed reflexes and hunting abilities. "Strange feeding behavior," Kithran noted. "He makes the creature work for its food." After the mountain lion ate all the meat, Tony stood up slowly. The big cat watched him, but did not attack. Tony walked to the cage door and left. The mountain lion did not try to follow. The aliens continued watching human military activities. They saw soldiers practicing in forests and deserts. They observed naval exercises and air combat training. Everything looked simple and weak. They also kept watching more humans who worked with dangerous animals. They saw Kate Johnson studying injured bears in a place called Yellowstone. She worked with multiple bears, at the same time moving between them like she was dancing. The bears all knew Kate. When she approached, they would lie down and let her examine them. She could touch their wounds, check their health, and give them medicine without any struggle. The huge predators trusted her completely. "She has trained them," Kithran observed. "The creatures obey her commands." "Because she feeds them," Vextal explained. "They know she provides food, so they do not attack her." But the aliens missed the important details. They did not see how Kate could make bears move where she wanted them to go with small hand gestures. They did not notice that she never showed fear, even when surrounded by multiple dangerous predators. The aliens watched human police training. 2. They saw officers learning to control crowds and arrest criminals. The training looked basic compared to alien crowd control methods. "Their law enforcement is weak," Vextal reported to his crew. "They try to capture criminals alive instead of simply destroying threats." This seemed to confirm everything the aliens believed about humans. They were too soft to make hard decisions. They tried to help everyone, even their enemies. Admiral Zethner received Vextal's final intelligence report. The message was clear. Humans had weak military technology, weak fighting methods, and weak survival instincts. They consistently chose to help dangerous creatures instead of eliminating threats. The Admiral approved the invasion plan. The alien fleet would show overwhelming force, and humans would probably try to negotiate instead of fighting. Some humans might even try to help wounded alien soldiers, just like they helped wounded predators. "Begin the approach," Admiral Zithner ordered. "Prepare for occupation of the Blue Planet." Thousands of alien warships began moving toward Earth. Their weapons could destroy cities in minutes. Their soldiers wore armor that could stop any human weapon. Their technology was far beyond anything humans possessed. The aliens were completely confident in their victory. They had studied human behavior for months and understood exactly how humans would react, but they had misunderstood everything they observed. They saw Tony Martinez studying the mountain lion's physical capabilities and thought he was just being thorough with medical care. They saw Kate Johnson controlling multiple bears and thought the animals were simply tame. They did not realize that humans who worked with dangerous predators were not showing weakness. They were demonstrating the ultimate form of strength. Complete dominance through superior intelligence and understanding. The aliens thought they were about to conquer a planet full of soft creatures who helped their enemies. They had no idea. They were approaching the home world of the galaxy's most successful predator species. The invasion fleet moved closer to Earth, and the aliens prepared for an easy victory over creatures too kind to fight properly. The alien ships came down from the sky like metal mountains. They were so big, they blocked out the sun over major cities around the world. New York, London, Tokyo, and 50 other cities suddenly became dark as the massive ships settled into the atmosphere above them. Commander Vextal stood on the bridge of his command ship as it lowered over Denver, Colorado. Through the viewing screens, he could see thousands of humans pointing up at the ships. Some were running and screaming, but many just stood and stared. "Deploy ground forces," Vextal ordered. Smaller ships dropped from the main vessels carrying alien soldiers. The soldiers wore thick gray armor and carried energy weapons that could melt through metal. They landed in parks and open areas throughout the city. Vextal expected immediate chaos. He thought humans would panic and attack randomly like frightened animals. But what happened next surprised him. Instead of mass panic, the humans seemed to organize quickly. Military vehicles appeared on the streets, but they did not attack immediately. Police and soldiers set up barriers around the alien landing sites, but they kept their distance. "Strange behavior," Kithrin observed. "They are not fleeing or attacking. They appear to be waiting." "Probably trying to understand what is happening," Vextal replied. "When they realize they cannot win, they will surrender." But hours passed, and the humans did not surrender. Instead, they did something the aliens had not expected. They tried to communicate. Large vehicles with loudspeakers approached the alien positions. Humans began speaking in different languages, hoping the aliens would understand. They offered food, water, and medical help to any alien soldiers who might be injured from the landing. "They want to help us," one alien officer said with amusement. "Just like they helped their predators," Vextal smiled. This confirmed everything he believed about human weakness. Even when invaded by a superior force, they still tried to show kindness to their enemies. Some human officials approached under white flags. They carried translation devices and tried to establish peaceful contact. A few even brought medical supplies in case any aliens needed treatment. "Should we accept their surrender?" asked Kithron. "Not yet," Vextal replied. "Let them show more weakness first. Then they will be easier to control." In other cities around the world, the same pattern repeated. Humans seemed confused, but not completely afraid. They organized quickly and tried to communicate rather than fight immediately. In London, Dr. Sarah Williams approached an alien landing site. She was a veterinarian who had worked with dangerous animals for many years. She carried a medical bag and walked slowly toward the alien soldiers with her hands visible and empty. The alien soldiers watched her approach, but did not shoot. Sarah stopped about 20 feet from them and began to speak. She used simple words and repeated them several times, hoping they would understand. "We want to help," she said clearly. "If any of you are hurt, we can provide medical care." The aliens recorded everything Sarah said. Their computers quickly learned to translate human languages. Within hours, they could understand what humans were saying. Fascinating, the alien commander in London reported to his fleet. The humans offer medical assistance to invading forces. Their compassion overrides their survival instincts completely. Similar reports came from invasion sites around the globe. Humans were not fighting back with full force. Instead, they seemed to be studying the aliens just like they studied injured predators. Dr. Rachel Morgan was one of the humans who volunteered to help with alien contact in Denver. She had spent years working as a city veterinarian and was used to dealing with dangerous creatures. When she saw the alien soldiers, she approached them the same way she would approach a wounded animal. Rachel moved slowly and spoke in quiet, calm tones. She carried medical supplies and food. The aliens let her come close because they wanted to study human behavior up close. "You must be tired from your long journey," Rachel said to the nearest alien soldier. "Do you need water or food?" The alien soldier stared at her through his helmet. He had never seen behavior like this. Every species his people had conquered before had either fled in terror or attacked with desperate fury. No one had ever offered to help the invaders. Rachel opened her medical bag and showed the aliens what was inside. Bandages, medicine clean, water, and emergency food. All the same supplies she would bring to help injured wild animals. "We have doctors who can treat injuries," she continued. "Our hospitals have advanced equipment. If any of your people are hurt, we will help them." Commander Vextall watched this interaction through his ship's sensors. Rachel's behavior matched perfectly with what he had observed when she worked with dangerous predators. She showed no fear and offered assistance to creatures that could easily kill her. "She treats us exactly like she treated injured animals," Vextall told his crew. "The humans cannot distinguish between friend and enemy. They help everyone." Over the following days, the aliens began to relax their security. The humans seemed completely non-threatening. Many were actively trying to help the alien forces get settled. They offered buildings for alien use, provided food and water, and even volunteered to work as translators. Jake Mitchell was among the humans who volunteered to help. He approached the alien command post in Denver with the same calm confidence he showed when working with wild bears. He carried supplies and spoke in measured, peaceful tones. "I know about taking care of creatures that are far from home," Jake told the alien officers. "If you need help with anything, I have experience." The aliens were impressed by Jake's calm manner. He showed no signs of fear or hostility. Like all the other humans they had observed, he seemed more interested in helping than fighting. "Your people are very strange," one alien soldier told Jake through a translation device. "Why do you want to help us?" "We are invading your world." Jake smiled the same gentle smile he used with frightened animals. "Because you're probably scared and confused. Being in a new place is always hard. We want you to feel welcome." The alien soldier was amazed. Even when told directly that they were invaders, the humans still wanted to help them. This species truly was too soft to survive in a hostile galaxy. Reports from around the world were similar. Humans were cooperating with alien forces. They provided assistance supplies and information. Some even volunteered to work for the aliens as guides and helpers. "The occupation is proceeding perfectly," Admiral Zethmer told his fleet commanders. "Human resistance is minimal. They seem to prefer cooperation over conflict." The aliens began establishing permanent bases in major cities. They set up communication networks, supply lines, and administrative centers. The humans helped with everything, offering their knowledge of local conditions and resources. Dr. Rachel Morgan was assigned to work directly with alien medical officers. She showed them human anatomy and physiology, explaining how to treat human injuries and illnesses. The aliens thought this information would be useful for controlling the human population. "Your species is remarkably trusting," the alien medical officer told Rachel. "You share information that could be used against you." Rachel nodded pleasantly. Knowledge should be shared. The more we understand each other, the better we can work together. But some alien officers were beginning to notice odd details in human behavior. The humans who volunteered to help seemed unusually observant. They asked many questions about alien technology, culture, and biology. They watched everything the aliens did with intense interest. The humans are very curious, Kithran reported to Vextal. They want to learn everything about us. Natural behavior for a primitive species encountering advanced technology, Vextal replied. They are amazed by our superiority. But a few aliens were starting to feel uncomfortable. The humans watched them too closely. Their questions were too detailed. Their helpfulness seemed almost calculated. Something feels wrong, one alien soldier told his commander. The humans study us like we are specimens. Nonsense, the commander replied. They are simply fascinated by our advanced civilization. As weeks passed, the alien occupation became routine. Humans continued to cooperate and provide assistance. The aliens grew more confident and reduced their security measures even further. They had no idea that every human who helped them was gathering intelligence. Every conversation was recorded. Every piece of alien technology was studied. Every weakness in alien behavior was noted and catalogued. The humans were not showing compassion to their invaders. They were doing exactly what they did with dangerous predators. They were learning everything they could about their new subjects before, demonstrating who was really in control. 3 months after the invasion, everything changed in a single night. Commander Vextau was sleeping in his quarters when alarms began screaming throughout his ship. Red lights flashed, and his crew shouted urgent reports over the communication system. Commander, to the bridge immediately, came Kithron's panicked voice. We are under attack. Vextal ran to the bridge, still wearing his sleeping clothes. When he arrived, he saw chaos on all the viewing screens. Explosions lit up the night sky around Denver. Other alien ships were being hit by weapons fire from impossible angles. Report, Vextal ordered. Unknown attackers struck simultaneously across the planet, Kithran said while working frantically at his control panel. Our forces in 17 cities are under coordinated assault. Impossible, Vextal replied. The humans have no weapons that can damage our ships. But the screens showed otherwise. Alien vessels were being destroyed by precise strikes that hit their weak points perfectly. The attackers seemed to know exactly where to shoot to cause maximum damage. How did they find our vulnerable spots? Demanded one officer. And how are they moving so fast? Asked another. Our sensors cannot track them properly. On the screen, Vextal watched small groups of humans moving through the city like ghosts. They appeared in one location, struck hard at alien positions, then vanished before reinforcements could arrive. They moved with perfect coordination, as if they had practiced these attacks for years. Get me contact with ground forces, Vextal ordered. The communication officer tried several times before getting a response. When the signal finally came through, it was filled with static and panic. This is Ground Team 7, came a frightened alien voice. We are surrounded and taking heavy casualties. The humans fight nothing like we expected. Explain, Vextal said. They move like pack hunters, the ground soldier replied. They seem to know our positions before we take them. They hit us where our armor is weakest. They use our own weapons against us. Before Vextal could respond, the communication went dead. On the screen, he watched the building where Ground Team 7 was stationed explode in a ball of fire. Similar reports came from around the world. In London, alien forces reported being hunted by humans who moved through the city like they knew every street and building. In Tokyo, alien ships were destroyed by weapons that appeared from nowhere, then disappeared. Sir, Kithran said with growing fear in his voice, I am receiving a transmission directed at our ship specifically. On screen, Vextal ordered. The viewing screen changed to show a human face. It was Jake Mitchell, the man they had watched feeding the wounded bear months earlier. But he looked very different now. His eyes were cold and calculating. His smile was not gentle anymore. "Hello, Commander Vextal," Jake said in perfect alien language. "I thought it was time we had a proper conversation." Vextal stared in shock. "How do you know our language? How do you know my name?" "We have been studying you for 3 months," Jake replied. "Just like we studied our planet's predators. We learned everything about you while you thought we were being kind and helpful. That is impossible. You were helping us. You showed us compassion." Jake laughed, but there was no warmth in the sound. "We were not showing compassion. We were showing you something much more important. We were showing you that we are the dominant species on this planet." "You lie," Vextal said. "Your people are weak. They help their enemies instead of destroying them." "You still do not understand," Jake continued. "When we help dangerous creatures, we are not being weak. We are proving that we are stronger than they are. Every predator on Earth learned the same lesson you are learning now." On other screens around the bridge, Vextal could see more human faces appearing. Lisa Rodriguez spoke from her location near the ocean. Danny Walsh transmitted from the swamps. Amy Chun sent her message from the mountains. All the humans the aliens had watched were now leading coordinated attacks. "The bear you watched me help," Jake said. "Do you want to know what really happened that day?" Vextal said nothing, but Jake continued anyway. "I did not just treat its wounds. I studied every part of its body. I learned how fast it could move, how strong it was where its weak points were located. I put a tracking device in its ear so I could monitor its behavior for weeks afterward." "You were gathering intelligence," Pithrin whispered. "Exactly," Jake replied. "Just like Lisa gathered tissue samples from the shark she helped. Just like Danny measured the alligator's bite force and reaction time. Just like Amy cataloged the pack behavior of the wolves she rescued." Lisa Rodriguez appeared on another screen. "The great white shark I treated now responds to my commands," she said. "It brings other sharks when I call them. They all learned that I am the top predator in their environment." Danny Walsh spoke next. "The alligator I healed recognizes my authority completely. It will attack or retreat based on signals I give it. All the reptiles in my territory know I control their lives." Amy Chun smiled coldly. "The wolf pack I saved now hunts for me. They track and eliminate targets I designate. They understand that I am their alpha." Vextal felt a chill run through his body. "You control your predators." "We control everything on this planet," Jake said. "Every dangerous creature learned to fear us or learned to serve us. Those were their only choices." "But your military forces were weak," Vextal protested. "Your weapons were primitive." "You saw what we wanted you to see," replied a new voice. The screen showed Dr. Rachel Morgan, the veterinarian who had volunteered to help alien medical officers. "While I was teaching your doctors about human anatomy, I was learning about alien physiology. I now know exactly how to hurt you and exactly how to heal you." "Every human who helped you was gathering intelligence," Jake explained. "We studied your technology, your psychology, your physical capabilities, and your weaknesses. We learned how you think, how you fight, and how you can be defeated. We mapped your command structure," Lisa added. "We identified your supply lines. We located your critical systems. We practiced moving through our cities without being detected," Danny continued. "We prepared weapons specifically designed to penetrate your armor. We trained our people to fight as coordinated units," Amy concluded. "Just like the pack hunters we learned from." Vextal realized the horrible truth. The humans had never been weak or confused. They had been studying the alien invaders the same way they studied injured predators. Every act of kindness had been reconnaissance. Every offer of help had been intelligence gathering. "You made us feel safe," Kithran said with growing understanding. "You made us lower our defenses. That is what apex predators do, Jake replied. We study our prey until we understand them completely. Then we demonstrate our dominance. Your people will suffer for this, Vextal threatened. Our main fleet will send reinforcements. Jake smiled again, and it was terrifying. Your main fleet received similar messages an hour ago. They are already retreating from our solar system. Impossible. We sent them detailed recordings of tonight's attacks. We also sent them biological analyses of alien physiology, psychological, profiles of alien behavior patterns, and complete technical specifications of alien technology. All information we gathered while your people thought we were being helpful. On the screens, explosions continued lighting up cities around the world. Alien forces were being systematically destroyed by humans who fought with perfect knowledge of their enemies' capabilities. The message we sent your fleet was simple, Jake continued. Leave now, or discover what happened to every other predator that challenged human dominance on Earth. Vextal looked around his bridge at his panicked crew. Everything he thought he knew about humans had been wrong. They were not weak creatures driven by misguided compassion. They were the most successful predators in the galaxy, disguised as gentle caregivers. This is your choice, Jake said as his image began to fade from the screen. Leave our planet and never return, or learn why we are the only species that feeds dangerous creatures instead of fearing them. The transmission ended, leaving Vextal staring at empty screens while his ship shook from nearby explosions. Commander Vextal's ship shook as another explosion rocked the city below. Through the viewing screens, he could see his forces being destroyed with surgical precision. Every attack hit exactly where alien defenses were weakest. Commander, Kithran called out in panic. Our ground forces are requesting immediate evacuation. They cannot hold their positions. Order all units to fall back to the ships, Vextal commanded. But even as he spoke, he knew it was too late. The humans had planned this perfectly. Small groups of human fighters moved through the streets like they were hunting prey. They appeared from shadows struck hard, then vanished before alien reinforcements could respond. They knew every building, every tunnel, every hiding place in their own city. Sir, the communications officer reported with fear in his voice. We are receiving surrender demands from the human forces. Put it on screen, Vextal ordered. Jake Mitchell's face appeared again, but this time he was not alone. Behind him stood other humans the aliens recognized. Lisa Rodriguez, Danny Walsh, Amy Chun, and dozens more. All the people who had seemed so kind and helpful now looked like what they truly were. Apex predators who had been studying their prey. Commander Vextal, Jake said in calm, measured tones, your forces are surrounded and cut off from supply lines. Your weapons have been turned against you. Your soldiers are being eliminated systematically. We will fight to the death, Vextal replied, trying to sound brave. No, you will not, Jake said with absolute certainty. Because you are not a warrior species. You are scavengers who prey on weaker civilizations. When faced with real predators, you panic and flee. On the screens around the bridge, Vextal could see the truth of Jake's words. His soldiers were indeed panicking. Many had abandoned their weapons and were trying to escape. Others huddled in defensive positions, waiting for rescue that would not come. How did you learn our language so quickly? Vextal demanded. How did you understand our technology? The same way we learn everything, Lisa Rodriguez answered from her position. We studied you while you thought we were harmless. Every conversation you had with our volunteers was recorded and analyzed. Every piece of equipment you showed us was examined and understood. Dr. Rachel Morgan stepped forward. I spent 3 months working with your medical officers. They taught me alien anatomy, thinking it would help me treat your injured soldiers. Instead, I learned exactly how to disable your species most efficiently. You used our trust against us, Kithran said with growing understanding. We used your arrogance against you, Amy Chun corrected. You thought we were weak because we helped injured predators. You never considered that helping predators requires being stronger than they are. Jake moved closer to the camera. Every dangerous creature on Earth learned the same lesson you are learning now. When humans approach you with food and medicine, it means you have already lost. The bear I helped that first day, Jake continued. Do you want to know where it is now? Without waiting for an answer, Jake gestured to someone off camera. A massive grizzly bear walked into view and sat down beside him like a trained dog. The same bear the aliens had watched him help months earlier. It obeys my commands completely, Jake explained while casually placing his hand on the bear's head. It knows I control its life. It understands that I am the apex predator in its world. This is impossible, Vextal whispered. This is what apex predators do, Lisa said as she appeared on another screen. Behind her in the water, a great white shark surfaced and waited motionlessly. We study our prey until we understand them perfectly. Then we demonstrate our dominance. Danny Walsh spoke from his swampy location. The alligator I treated now brings me information about other predators in its territory. It serves as my scout and hunter. An enormous alligator slid out of the water behind Danny and lay down at his feet. Its massive jaws could have crushed him instantly, but instead it waited for his commands like a loyal pet. You see, Amy Chun said from her mountain location, surrounded by a pack of wolves. When we feed dangerous creatures, we are not showing compassion. We are showing them who is in charge. The wolves around Amy sat perfectly still waiting for her orders. These were the same animals the aliens had watched her rescue and heal. Now they served her as completely as any domestic animal. Your invasion failed the moment you arrived, Jake explained. Not because you lacked superior weapons or numbers. You failed because you misunderstood what kind of species you were dealing with. We are not prey animals who panic when threatened, Dr. Rachel Morgan added. We are the predators that every other predator on this planet learned to fear. Explosions continued to light up the night sky as alien positions were systematically destroyed. The human attacks were coordinated with precision that spoke of years of planning and preparation. Impossible, Vextal repeated. You only had 3 months to plan this. We have been planning for this our entire evolutionary history, Jake replied. Every time we helped a dangerous animal, we were practicing for the day we would meet dangerous aliens. Every wildlife rehabilitator on Earth has been training to handle species more powerful than themselves, Lisa explained. We learned how to approach dangerous creatures, gain their trust, study their weaknesses, and establish dominance. You thought our kindness was weakness, Amy said. But kindness is the ultimate expression of strength. Only the strongest predators can afford to show mercy to their enemies. Admiral Zethmer's voice suddenly came through the communication system. He was calling from the main alien fleet in space above Earth. All ground forces evacuate immediately, the Admiral ordered. Return to the ships. We are retreating from this system. Admiral, Vextal protested. We cannot let these primitives defeat us. They are not primitives, the Admiral replied with defeat in his voice. They sent us complete intelligence files on our technology psychology and battle tactics. They know us better than we know ourselves. Sir? Vextal was confused. They also sent us recordings of what they did to our ground forces, the Admiral continued, and biological samples proving they can synthesize toxins specifically designed to kill our species. How is that possible? Because they studied us for 3 months while we thought they were being friendly, the Admiral said with growing fear. They gathered tissue samples when they treated our injured soldiers. They analyzed our blood when they gave us medical examinations. They learned everything about us while we learned nothing about them. Jake's voice came through clearly on the communication channel. Admiral Zethmer, your fleet has exactly 1 hour to leave our solar system. After that, we will demonstrate why no predator species has ever successfully invaded Earth. You cannot threaten us, the Admiral replied, but his voice shook with uncertainty. We are not threatening you, Jake said calmly. We are educating you, the same way we educated every other dangerous species on our planet. Lisa Rodriguez spoke next. In the ocean, great white sharks now serve as our scouts and hunters. They patrol our waters and eliminate threats on our command. Danny Walsh continued. In the swamps, alligators and crocodiles serve as our enforcers. They control territory according to our wishes, Amy Chan added. In the mountains and forests, wolf packs serve as our intelligence network. They track and report on anything we consider a threat. Every apex predator on Earth learned the same lesson, Jake concluded. Humans are not prey. We are not competitors. We are the ultimate predators, and every other species exists at our discretion. Your choice is simple, Dr. Rachel Morgan said. Leave peacefully, and we will remember you as guests who learned wisdom. Stay, and we will remember you as specimens who provided useful data. Through the viewing screens, Vextal could see his remaining ground forces fleeing toward their evacuation ships. The humans did not pursue them. They simply watched as the defeated aliens ran away. Time to go, Jake said with that same gentle smile he had used months earlier when approaching the wounded bear. You have seen enough. The transmission ended, and Vextile ordered his ship to retreat to the main fleet. As they rose through Earth's atmosphere, he looked back at the blue planet one last time. Down there in the wilderness, a man named Jake Mitchell was probably returning to his wildlife rehabilitation center. He would continue caring for injured bears and wolves and mountain lions. But now Vextile understood the truth. Jake was not helping those animals out of kindness. He was maintaining his dominance over the most dangerous predators on the planet. Every creature he fed, every wound he healed, every act of apparent compassion was a demonstration of absolute power. The alien fleet jumped to faster-than-light speed and fled the solar system. Behind them, Earth continued turning peacefully in space, home to the galaxy's most successful predator species, who disguised their dominance as Mercy Dot in the years that followed. Word spread throughout the galaxy about the humans and their blue world. Other alien species learned the lesson the Zephyrians had learned too late. When humans offer to feed you, heal you, and speak gently to you, they are not showing weakness. They are showing you exactly who is at the top of the food chain.